Now. Hi Nora. Hi Jasmine. I'm not sure, Jasmine. Are you a Vietnamese? My Vietnamese friends here are asking. Okay, those who are online, can you see my screen, my slide? Yes, okay, you can hear me clearly too, I hope. Hear me clearly? Yes, okay, great, all right. Cool. Okay, so good morning once again to everyone. Actually, today I have a few Vietnamese lecturers who are here from Yersin Dalat University. Then you can actually say hi there, they can see you.
Hello.
So they came here for a visit to see how we can collaborate for student projects and also for teaching and learning activities. Yeah. So maybe you want to introduce yourself first.
Hello everyone, I'm Duyên. I'm from Đà Lạt, Vietnam.
Yeah, hello, my name is Tin. Yeah, we speak sure, in English. And yeah, I'm from Dallas, the Highland City in Vietnam. Nice to meet you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yun. You can call me Grace. That's my English name. And I'm from Yatsen University of Dalat. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hello everyone, my name is Chen. I'm also at the same university as my college. I'm from the foreign languages department. Yes, nice to meet you.
Hello, everyone. And finally, my name is Haim from Yersin University. So my colleague here. Nice to meet you today.
Right, great. So to my colleagues over there, would you like to introduce yourself? Can turn on your video. Are you sure you want to start first?
All right. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you again. Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia, and I'm from TLC at the Glen Mary campus in Selangor. Nice to meet all of you and looking forward to learn from you, Michelle.
Right. Thanks, Alicia. So I see Nora there ready.
Hi, I think Alicia is new. We haven't seen her yet. So later I will say hello to you, Alicia. Okay, we are from the School of Business, a few of us here. I'm Nora. Nice to meet our colleagues from Vietnam. Welcome to Malaysia. We are in Selangor, which is in Shah Alam, near to Kuala Lumpur. I think you all know where Kuala Lumpur is. So all of us are based in in the Metropolis campus. So I hand over to my next colleague. Haja, are you there? Or Jasmine, any of you?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes, hi.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, can you hear me?
I think you're muted. Cannot hear you.
Not here?
Cannot hear you.
Cannot hear? Okay, wait.
You want to try, maybe you try to remove your mic, just use directly from your computer. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Ah,
Can you?
oh dear.
Can you hear me?
Cannot hear you. Ah, that's so sad. Maybe you have to run to another person's computer.
It's okay lah. Okay, bye.
Oh, I think I can hear you now. Say louder, maybe.
Hi.
Louder. Yeah,
Yeah, can you hear me?
very soft. Try again.
What's the Jasmine?
I can hear you now.
Can hear?
Yes.
Okay, hi. My name is Raja Nadra, and I'm here at UOW Kuala Lumpur, same as Kak Nora.
From School of Business as well.
Yes, School of Business.
All right, great. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet all of you.
So, Jasmine, would you like to go next?
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Jasmine from UG campus, from School of Business, same with Nora and Haja.
So, Jasmine, my friends here, they are curious, are you Vietnamese or not? Because they say your surname is Vietnamese name.
No, I'm not Vietnamese, I'm local Malaysia.
Not a Vietnamese.
Hi, nice to meet everyone.
Pardon?
Yeah, nice to meet every one of you from the PG campus.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
She's from the Selangor campus. The one- Hi, Raylan, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, okay, I see your message here. Your mic is also not working. Okay, School of Communication. Right, nice to meet you, Raylan. Okay, great. So I think so there is only 5. There are supposed to be 7 of you here. Okay, never mind. So we'll just start. Actually, my dear friends here from Vietnam, they are going to Kuala Lumpur in the afternoon, right? Yeah, and then leaving, and then gonna have fun time tomorrow in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Whole day,
Whole day.
whole day, and then returning back to
Yes, right.
tomorrow. No, other tomorrow. So that would be Sunday. Monday. Monday. Oh, so they're gonna have 2 full days in KL.
Yes.
Right. That would be quite fun, yeah. So many things to do there. Maybe you all can actually also recommend what kind of fun place to do there. Go and explore. Okay, so welcome everyone to this workshop on building your online course successfully. I believe some of you have done some kind of online courses. I mean, as in enrolled in a course online, learn online, and then got a certificate. Anyone? Has anybody enrolled in an online course and then follow the online course and then got a certificate?
So may I have some experience? So for my master degree, so for the first year, so we have offline mode is usual, but after that the pandemic come, this changed to online mode. So we use a platform from the university, so they provide us with their website, and it's just like, I think that it is more similar to MS Teams. So we have every function on the website of the school, not just like MS Teams. Yeah. So
That will be like a space where you get your slides, your materials, your assignments, activities, and so
yeah,
on.
right. So everything.
Okay. All right. So what about my colleagues over there? Have you got any experience of registering in an online course? Quiet over there. Anyone has any experience?
I think not online course per se,
Uh-huh.
meaning that before we started off learning how to do the open learning and all the other, LMS, we were
Yeah.
given in-house training. So
Yes.
those are the things that we attended basically. We don't really get a cert, but we do have training hours that was fulfilled.
Okay, so that training was conducted online.
Some of it was online. I cannot really remember because way back then, when we started to do open learning. So someone was teaching us how to do it in TLC. So we all had to attend it because we had to do our courses in open learning.
Okay.
So it was like on the job as well as some pointers given to us from TLC.
All right, cool. Okay, good. Right. So before we actually, go on, I just have a warning for everybody here today. I know that it's a Friday morning. Yeah, weekend is approaching, especially for my dear friends here who is on a half vacation, half business. Yeah, you might be having I need to relax. But just for these 4 hours, okay, you need to put your brain to a little bit of work. Okay, all right, just for 4 hours only. I basically the whole thing is designed as a workshop. Basically means is work. Yeah. So I won't really be standing here and talking a lot, but there will be sessions and time that I would like you to kind of really think about your course and how to turn it into an online course successfully. Okay, so that's the reason why I say your brain will be at work. Okay. So before we begin, let's do a little activity here. It's called the Picasso. So I'd like to ask you, what's your dream home? So please draw and describe it. So for those of you who are online, if you'd like to use this here, you can. Let me just copy out the link for you. Yeah. Don't worry, my friends here. I have paper for you. Okay. Here it is. You just click on that link there, and it will take you to it will take you to this sketch pad here, but you see a picture here already. It's my own drawing. Okay. So I'd like you to sketch your own dream home. What does it look like? I give you 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. Let me show you. Minutes, what's your dream home like?
Yeah. Thinking.
About 1 minute. Okay, time's up. Right. So can somebody volunteer to describe your dream home? Anybody? If you want to share your picture with us, also can. But if you are too shy, then it's okay. You can just tell us what is in your dream home. Anybody? Jasmine, would you like to start to share? Jasmine?
Sure. I can't share the screen.
You want to share?
Can I share the screen?
Yep. Can you try now?
Still disabled.
It is able.
Never mind, it's okay. My dream home will be a simple wooden house near the nature, outskirts. All right, just don't want to live in the city life really.
Okay. Don't want to live the city life anymore. All right, good. Thank you. Okay, so can we have some?
Yes. Miss Jane.
Yeah, I see Miss Trang's drawing is very detailed. Yeah, resource everywhere. Yeah. So tell me, tell us about your dream home.
Actually, it's not my dream. It's very similar to my home.
Oh, because you're living in your dream already.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah, you show. Yes.
So can you see that? So I will describe briefly about my dream home. I want to have a big yard. I also want the garden where I can grow the flowers and some kind of vegetables and some high trees around my home. I want a small house in which there's only 2 bedrooms, a working room, and the living room is the dining room, is the kitchen, is the toilet, 2 toilets. That's all. I think that is very simple.
Okay, thank you very much. So are you growing vegetables already in your house?
Sorry.
Are you already growing vegetables in your garden?
Yes. Actually, there is just a small garden here where I grow vegetable. It's my door.
And she
My
has
front door.
And she has roses hanging down her balcony, yeah. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, that will be my dream home too. Okay, then we have one more online there to share. Nora, would you like to share your dream home?
Okay, I'll try to share screen. I had a drawing. Can you help me to disable?
Wait, yeah. Oh, but this is supposed to share. You turn on?
Okay, can.
Yeah, all right.
Can see? Sorry, my drawing is awful. I tried to describe it to you. Okay, my house will be 2-story because nowadays, all the terrace houses are not big. So it's going to be 2-story. I always would like to have a balcony, and that balcony I will turn into a garden. It has to be connected to my master bedroom. So when I come out to a garden, and so that there's fresh air and all that coming in. And usually when I choose a lot, I would not want anything in front of it. That means it's a clear road or some other open space. My dream house is a corner lot. Unfortunately, I cannot get a corner lot. So, but it is dream, right? So I can continue to dream. So the car park will be there. And yeah, basically the inside, I don't have to describe because, it's too complicating. Simply, same like Jasmine, mine is not so much kampung because I am not so much outskirt, I'm a city girl. I don't want to be too outback, but the thing is, I also don't want to be in the KL city or like Singapore, I just want to be away from the hustle and bustle. That's my dream house.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Come, anyone? One more? Okay, go. You want to go and show them?
Wow, nice.
Thank you. Hey, hello everyone, and this is my dream home. As you can see, this is a very simple house, I guess. This is a very small house. I think I just want to have 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 2 restrooms, 1 working rooms, and kinds of dining rooms. Yes, I really want the space because like my hometown, it still has a lot of spaces for us to live. So I expect to have a house with a very big yard or kind of a garden, back gardens, front gardens, things like that, where I can plant trees. We see the fruit trees, right? Maybe oranges or apples or whatever types of fruits I like, and maybe my children would love to eat. And then we can have some more spaces for me to grow maybe vegetables or flowers. It looks more beautiful and just like in the countryside. This is what I expect for my life because I want my life to be like peaceful, comfortable, not too noisy or too much kind of pollution or something. I wouldn't expect it. So just a simple life like this. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Awesome. I tell you, anyone who is interested to have, a lot of flowers, a lot of vegetables, cool air like Cameron Highlands all day long, all year long, and to some extent, at times it's even colder than Cameron Highlands. You should think about Dalat because I've been there and it's really, really, really beautiful. I always tell them that you're also lucky to be there, yeah. Really, yeah. You actually have roses and roses everywhere, and roses as big as my face. Oh my God, how can it be? No. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for sharing. Well, do do you know why I actually asked you to draw your dream home or things like that, or think about what you, how is it related to today's topic? Any idea?
Online class.
They want us to us, we think more about the futures, or you may want us to make something more effective, better, or yeah, and make something come true in the future. I think so.
Good thinking.
I think that we really wanted to think about the steps that we should do to design our course, so that the student can feel comfortable, they can study effectively. It also depends on our design.
Okay, very good answers. Yeah, oh, my very good students here. Okay, I'm so glad. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's the reason why I'm asking you this first question today, because but as I begin just now, my first, if you look at the title of the course today, is building. It's about building. Okay, and whenever we talk about building, there's always what you want in the future, right? So I have I call her Cloud. It's such a beautiful name. She's actually taught about things like, having food trees and all that the children would like to enjoy, things that you would think what people would like, not only about yourself liking it, yeah, but also whoever who will be participating in that space of yours would enjoy doing it and would find meaning in it. And when we want to do this kind of things, it's a lot about planning. Like you see trunks one, right? Very detailed. It's like an architecture kind of a drawing. Yeah? Very detailed of how the door should open. Yeah. So yes, basically when it comes to building an online course, you really need to do that kind of thinking to the extent of how specific she gets as to which direction does the door open, this way or this way. Yeah. So now that you know, okay, that's your dream home, then you will think about, how am I going to build this? How am I going to go about building this dream? But unlike Trang, right, she said that she's already living her dreams, yeah? I don't know why some of my things are not coming out. I think it's probably a Wi-Fi connection here. Okay, so that's what we are going to talk about today. How are we going to build that thing? Okay, what are the steps that we go through? So at the end of today's session, I hope that you'll be able to create a course structure for an online course. Maybe for my dear friends here, you may not be having a near future plan of having an online course, but you did mention that you use certain online elements and all, right? Maybe you can just think about how to make that portion, that online portion, to be more effective. So that could be something that would be more meaningful for you to bring back, from what you gathered through this workshop. Yeah. Okay. Then secondly is to think about the designing of appropriate engaging learning activities to complement the content. All right. And the third thing is to reflect on the course content for continuous improvement. So whenever we build something, even a house that we build, yeah, we will find that over time we make improvements, right? Because we find that, okay, be careful, yeah. Okay, so over time you'll find that, well, maybe this section of the house is not, the space is not properly utilized. You think that there's a better way of using this space, then you will do something to it. So there is always a reflection and refining. So you don't really build a course and then after that, repeat that. just like how we are teaching our courses every semester. Every semester, we do make some changes here and there, right? Because we find that, last semester when I taught this course, my students seem to have some difficulty. So how can I make it better this time? Maybe I need to add a certain activity here. Or last semester when I did this activity, my students had so much difficulty. They cannot seem to get it. Okay, or there's something about the instruction that is not clear. So you will also make changes. So we always go through that process of refining. So same goes with an online course. You don't just build it and that's it. You will still need to constantly make changes to refine it. Yeah. Now, this is the agenda for today. Okay, so we will look at developing the blueprint, which is the planning. Then we look at designing learning activities, and lastly, refining the content. So we'll take a break around 10:45 a.m. All right? Okay, and we will try to close the session by 12:45. And if you have any questions, we will do it then. Okay. Right. Before we start, let's just get some of the terms or the definitions, which I think it seems like there's a lot of confusion in it. What do we mean by online course? What do you understand when we say online course?
So this is the course which is delivered in online mode, which means that we need laptop, computers, and most importantly, we need connect in internet connection. And the learners and the teachers are not in the same place, but they are from separate place, maybe from a very far distance.
Okay, all right, okay. So yeah, that's generally an online course, but things where, like you said, the teacher and the student may not be in the same space, and also will have a time difference, and then things just happen online and they are connected through the internet. Okay, and there is a space that is virtually where you put all your materials in and whatever. Now, what about MOOC? Have you heard about the term MOOC?
Yes.
MOOC?
Just like FedEx or Coursera.
Okay.
So there's some platform that we can have some online courses together. So this is community.
So what about my dear colleagues over there? What is a MOOC? I'm sure you've heard MOOC. Talking about MOOC in Malaysia, people talk about MOOC a lot. Anyone? What is a MOOC? If you shy to speak, you can type in the chat. What is a MOOC? What does it stand for, MOOC? I'm sure you can start to Google already. MOOC. What is MOOC? What does it stand for?
Massive Open Online Course.
Massive Open Online Course, right? Massive. So when we say massive, means is a lot, okay? So this massive here could be thousands and thousands of learners, okay? And when we say open means
This is for free, for community.
free, yes. Whenever we say it's open means it's free. Anybody can participate, can enroll into the course. You don't need to pay, okay? The resources are there for you to see, all right? So that is open. So you have like OER, open educational resources. Those are also free resources for people to use. Of course, it comes with like, you need to attribute, you need to say they are from who and not just simply, take it as though it's your own, So by the term massive, you know that it is by thousands and thousands of learners, okay? By the term open, you know that it is free for anybody to join. And we talked about just now, online course, which you have defined earlier, okay? So now, the next one. Micro-credential. Have you heard about micro-credential? I'm sure my colleagues in UG have heard of it, yeah? Your bosses have been telling you, do micro-credential. Yeah? Have you heard of the term micro-credential? No? Something new for you. My colleagues in UG, micro-credential, what do you understand about it?
Jasmine is expert. She can explain.
Okay, Jasmine.
She's just shy.
Yeah, Jasmine has been chasing me for my things, I know. So Jasmine, can you help to explain what is micro-credential?
I think that is some kind of diploma or certificate.
Certificate. Yes, Jasmine?
I'm not expert lah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Then,
Basically, the student can actually, basically the learner, they actually can study on a small scale basis for some of the courses, and then they collected all the batches in order for them to get the CT for the module in some of the institution.
okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, it's there. Okay, basically micro-credentials, there are micro. Micro means small, okay? So small as in, you can describe it as bite size. Yeah, and then when it comes to the word credential there, like what you mentioned, it has tied to some certification. Yeah, some kind of recognition for completing that particular module. All right. So these are online courses. Yeah. So just now we talk about online courses, right? Online courses are just like anything that's available online. There's a teacher, there's a student, and then you just go and learn, right? And the resources are all online on the platform. So then we talk about MOOC. MOOC actually is a type of online course, but it's very massive. You have thousands and thousands of learners. It's open, it's free. But micro-credentials, they are not free. Okay? By how would I put it? Yeah, by general, by default, or by definition. Okay, I'm not too sure how I should put it, because actually micro-credentials, you have to pay for it, because remember I said about certification. When you have got certification, you will need to pay for it. Okay, so micro-credentials are paid courses, whereas MOOC, they are free courses. However, you will find that there are some MOOC courses which are free, but when you want the certificate, you have to pay. Okay?
It's like Coursera, okay?
Yes, that's right. Similarly, for micro-credential, there are some micro-credentials where it is free, but when you want the certification, you have to pay. Okay? But there are also micro-credentials that when you want to go into the course, you have to pay already. Okay? And then if you want the certificate, you pay another time. But there are also some where you just join, you pay that sum of fee, it comes with the contact and the certificate if you complete everything. Right? Okay? But generally, micro-credentials are paid courses. Okay, they are paid courses. And they are not like MOOC is open, massive, like thousands of, although micro-credentials, there are some where you have thousands and thousands of people. Some courses are very popular. Okay, but the thing is, it comes with a pay. All right, yeah, okay. So, another difference between MOOC and micro-credential is, like I said, micro-credential, they are mini, bite size. Whereas MOOC, it's everything there. So imagine if you have a course, typically our courses are 12 weeks to 14 weeks semester, right? Okay, so say for example, in that 12 to 14 weeks, we have like maybe 10 topics. 10 topics that we cover, okay? For a MOOC, you can actually put that 10 topics as one online course, and all the material, the content for that 10 topics, once you join, everything is there available. Okay, you can just go through it already. But for a micro-credential, you will not do that. Yeah, you will not be having that 10 topics all at one go. You will probably break it up into like 3 topics, 1 micro-credential. Another 3 topics, another micro-credential. And then balance 4 topics, 1 micro-credential. So from that 1 course that we do in our normal teaching, that 1 semester, we have the 10 topics. We can actually cut it up, bite size, and make it into 2 or 3 or even 4 micro-credentials. Okay, why? What's the reason? Why do we want to do that? The idea of micro-credential is you learn only what you need and apply it immediately. So if I'm this micro-credential thing actually started because of there are a lot of graduates who go out and work, but they don't seem to have the skills and knowledge that can, help them to do the work, right? So it's sort of like they kind of like have not enough or miss out certain skills or knowledge and what, yeah? So then they are encouraged to take courses. It's kind of sending the staff for professional development kind of a program sort of thing, okay? But the staff can actually enroll into a micro-credential. If example, this particular staff needs to know Python. Python is a programming language, yeah? He needs to learn how to use Python in his job. He doesn't know how to, he has never learned before. So all he needs to do is to enroll into a micro-credential that teaches maybe basic Python, okay? Probably the course could be, let's say 3 weeks, okay? And then he completes it, and then he can do his job already. So now when he needs a higher level of that Python knowledge, he probably needs to enroll into another course, which is level 2 of that Python. So again, maybe he take the course for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then he has a better knowledge, and then he continues his job. Okay, but then all these the micro-credential that he does, right? Remember I said it comes with the certification. So in micro-credential, we usually now call it badges, badge. Okay, I can show you afterward what it means by badges. So a lot of these badges, right? Now it comes with a kind of technology where you can authenticate that the badge is genuine. That means you earn the badge. Okay, right? There will be some kind of serial number that is tied to the badge. So you can actually use these badges and put it into your resume. That helps to strengthen your profile. Yeah, okay. And say if I completed my diploma and then I went to work, but I'm very hardworking, okay, and I love to learn. When my boss gives me a job and I cannot understand how to do it, I go and take all these micro-credential online. I go and learn, and I collect all these badges. After collecting these badges, right, I find that actually, I think I'm ready to do my bachelor's degree now. How can I make use of these things this Python, whatever thing that I've learned, which is actually part of a degree program, how can I make use of it, So that is when just now Jasmine, she mentioned for credit transfer. So there are some institutions where you can actually collect all these badges. The institution can verify, that this is equivalent to what course in that degree program, and they give you a credit transfer. So imagine if your degree program requires you to take 20 courses to graduate. But because all those years that you have been doing all these micro-credential and you collect all the badges, you probably need to do only 10 courses to complete your degree program. Because the other 10 courses, you can get your credit transfer. But of course, all these are subjected to whatever regulations in the program and also by the institution. I'm just giving you an example. So that's the idea of micro-credential. So it is bite-sized so that it is easy for the learner to take whatever that they want so that they can learn and use it on the spot. Okay, so that is micro-credential. Micro-credential now is like it's like a big thing in Malaysia now. I believe sooner or later it will also be something in the country. We are investing in a lot of resources to build micro-credentials and also MOOC at the same time. But MOOC, like I said, because as you see, MOOC is not really money making. But micro-credential is the money making kind of a thing. You might not get a lot of money at the beginning, but over years, when you build it and you make your content better and better, you can actually get into money. But like I said, it takes time. Just like growing flowers, waiting for your roses to bloom. It takes time, right? How many years for the flowers to bloom?
I think just after 1 year.
1 year.
You can start.
After 1 year only you have nice roses hanging down.
After 1 year. After 5 years. The roses here. I have the roses like this.
Only after 5 years it becomes so beautiful. You see? So after 1 year it starts growing, but to make it so beautiful that it hangs down from her balcony now is 5 years. And lots of work, right, to put into talking to the flower, feeding the flower.
Give a flowers assignment every day.
Okay, so it takes time. At the beginning, of course, I'm speaking from my own experience. At the beginning, it is painful, but once it's done, you feel really good. I'm sure you can connect that kind of feeling to things that you have achieved in life before. Okay, so now you can differentiate between online course, MOOC, and micro-credential, Okay, so for today's session, I'm not really going to specify whether it's a MOOC or micro-credential, because I believe all of you here are probably tasked to do certain things by your department or your school, whether is it to build a MOOC or a micro-credential. Okay, basically what I'm going to do today is to share with you how I have created mine, a template, the steps and what I did, and what I have included in mine to make it interesting. It's up to you. If you are doing a MOOC, then it's just about making it longer only. If you are doing a micro-credential, then you need to think about how to cut it. And a lot of times it's the cutting that is a bit of work that you need to think about. Because you need to make sure that you cut it properly. If not, then your whole thing will collapse. Yeah, okay. So let's start building your ideas. What happened to all my pictures on with it? Let's do some basics of building construction. Do you know our parent company? It's actually a developer. Originally, our parent company, Paramount, is a developer. Yeah. So let's go back to our basics. Okay, building construction. What is building construction? Anybody knows building construction? What are the processes?
So I think the first is to have some ideas and then to have a design. And after the design, so make it come through by building construction works. And after this, so from the basement construction to the finish, and after that is completion, so on so far.
Right?
I think that before you have design, you have to know where to construct this building. You have to have a look around about the environment, about the topography of the place that you want to construct building. We also have to think about our purpose or our wish about this building before we design it. Then we design. After design, we have to think about the material to build up this building. We also have to think about the trend. We have to think about how to make our building last as long as possible.
Very good, very detailed. So
Yeah, very detailed.
Very detailed. So you built your own house.
Yeah, so we build our some very
no wonder. So she has been through the whole process of how to build.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. This is very right. So firstly, you need to do planning and site inspection. That was what she said. Need to look at the land that you're going to build, the soil, whether it's suitable or not, right? And then you want to have your vegetable garden. You must know which part of the soil is good for vegetable, planting. I remember because my mother, when she built her own house and all, so she had this plan that this patch of land that she wanted to become the vegetable patch. However, during the construction, these workers and all, they simply throw the cement and wherever, so they spoiled the whole piece of soil here. So it couldn't plant anything. So it took my mother years and years and years to actually, clear the soil so that it's suitable for planting again. So yeah, you need to know, the soil that you are using, what is it good for and how can you make good use of it. And then after that is your substructure construction. The substructure is the foundation, laying your foundation. Okay, your pillars to make it strong. Okay, your base, your whatever thing. Actually, I'm not very good in construction, so I don't really know. I have no background. Yeah, I just did a bit of survey, research on it. Yeah, how to construct things. And then you have your superstructure. Okay, superstructure is where you have things like your painting of the wall, what color, even the choice of paint, right? Will what kind of paint you use, what quality, will they have a smell, no smell? I remember now at that time my mom built, she asked me to go and choose the paint, and then she told me, what flavor would you like? I said, what flavor? You mean what color? No, what flavor? Do you want apple, orange? I said, huh? I said, yeah, you can choose what smell you like, because the scent of paint sometimes can be really annoying when you just move in. So they have like scented paint. So I said, oh, okay, I'll choose apple then. So after they painted my room, right, it smells of apple every day. It's really nice. Yeah, so you might want to think about that. Yeah. So that is the superstructure construction. Yeah. Then we have the punch list. So what is the punch list? Punch list will be, when you buy a new house, when you go and get your keys, usually they will come with a list that you can go and check. Does it have this? Does it have that? Is it okay here, got leaking or not, no leaking and all? The punch list to check what has been done, what has not been done. Okay, so that's a punch list before you can actually start utilizing the space or utilizing the home that you have built. Okay, you need to check. Before you ask your family to move in, you must check first whether everything is in place or not. Okay, right? So we're going to go through that step by step, yeah, all that 4 steps. So in terms of planning and site inspection, I see my picture, but it's very blurry. Probably the connection is not good today. Okay, so in terms of planning and site inspection, in terms of planning here, when we talk about building the course, is creating the blueprint. We shall share with you a blueprint. Okay, what do you need to have in that plan? What do you need to put? What do you need to think about in that plan? Okay. Secondly is the site inspection. Where are you going to build this course? There are many different platforms that you can use, like you tell me some Coursera and all this, right? So those are different platforms that you can use to build your course. So typically for us here, UOW Malaysia KDU, we use open learning. Yeah. But at the same time, you also have to understand what other apps can work well in open learning. Okay? Or other apps, what other things can work well in open learning. It's not, but you have to know the soil. You need to know the soil, right? And then you need to know, like, if your soil is maybe too porous or what, and in the long run, after 5 or 10 years, maybe there can be some erosion and all, right? So you might need to think, how are you going to make it stronger? Okay, or can you actually use this piece of land to build what you want to build? If you want to build what you want to build there, what you need to do to make sure that the place will be good. Okay, so that is really about site inspection. So you need to be very familiar with the platform that you're using to build your course. Okay, like you said, you're using MS Teams, right? I'm sure you're very familiar with MS Teams already, what you can do there. So perhaps the next thing to think about is, can you actually put in any apps to be used there or not? I don't really build any courses in MS Teams, yeah. I know you can put in your files and everything, because we use MS Teams mainly for conferencing and communication. So we don't really, because we use open learning as the LMS. Okay, but we can explore afterwards. So for my colleagues, yeah, you need to think about all these things. Are you familiar with the quizzes, the assignments, the discussions, the grades, the pages, and assessments? All these things, are you familiar with them or not, and how to make full use of it for your course? Okay, so these are generally the things that you will have in an LMS. Most LMS. Right. Then secondly is creating engaging videos. Oh, my picture. Okay, so this is actually what I call the substructure construction. When we talk about online courses, you will, if you enroll into any online courses, yeah, the good ones, you will find that there will be videos. Okay, there will be videos. But what kind of videos? That will be another topic, yeah. Okay. But the videos in an online course, they serve as the substructure, as the foundation. Because through the videos, you are giving instructions to the students. Okay, through the video, students are going to learn about certain terms or concepts, or maybe through the videos, you are going to clarify some commonly misunderstood terms or concepts. Okay, so those videos are the foundation of your course. You must have videos in your course. You cannot have a course where you just put PowerPoint slide, PDF files, PowerPoint slide, PDF file, and then nobody is talking there. So your student go in, they just look at your slides, they don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm talking about a course that students are learning self-paced, yeah. That means the instructor, like you said, this time the instructor is not like this talking. Okay, it's completely self-paced. So whenever I'm free, I go in and do whatever activity. So I watch the video and then I do some activity on my own. Those kind of courses. So your videos must be there, and there must be good videos. Okay, because they serve as the foundation. I'm actually doing another training, I think next week, right, actually, on creating videos. Yeah, so if only you can stay for another week. Okay, all right. Oh, maybe if you're interested. Yeah. All right. So for the superstructure construction here, that's what I was telling you about just now, is the painting and the landscaping. Beautifying. Okay, beautifying. All right, making it more interesting. So this is where we talk about your learning activities. Your online course cannot just have videos. Huh? You must have some kind of activities. Because you cannot expect your student to just watch your video and learn something. How would the student know that he or she has learned something? And how would you know that the student has learned something or has not learned something? So you need to have learning activities. Okay, for them to check their own understanding, and for you to also know their understanding. Okay, so designing learning activities is important. And lastly, it's about refining the content. Refining the content, like I said, you should have your checklist. What has been done, what has not been done, whatever that is done, is it done like what you wanted it to be done? What needs to be done some more? How you can improve it. Okay, so you need to check on that. So now let's talk about developing the blueprint. When we talk about developing the blueprint, when we want to start planning, you said already just now, building your own home. What's the purpose of this home? Is it for short-term stay, for retirement stay? It's a different thing, right? What do you intend for this house? Is it for you and your husband to retire? Your children are not in the picture. You would expect them to have their own home, their own life, not with you anymore. It could be, okay? Or do you have a plan that, no, even if my children all grow up, married and all, they still must stay together. So you must make sure you have enough rooms, right? So that is why I said you need to consider what this thing that you're doing is for. And for that is your course learning outcome. What is your expectation? What is the outcome of this course? Okay. Second thing is your assessment component. How do you know you have achieved it? Achieve your outcome. How are you going to know? How are you going to check it? Okay, so you have to think about how you're going to assess it. And lastly is your duration. How long do you think your learners will need in order to achieve this, the outcome? So just like you build your house, you will also plan, right? How long? Right? So, before I go into giving you the plan, I want to share with you the outcome first. Okay, I'd like you to join this course. It's actually in open learning. It's open. You don't have to pay any money. Okay, but if you want a certificate, then you have to pay. Yeah. So this is a course that was built by myself and also my colleagues. So it's actually a course that has been cut up into three. Three. It's a big course, but we cut it up into three. So from that, this is only 1/3 of the entire course. Okay, which fulfills one of the learning outcomes of the original course. So I'll put the link here so that you can. I think some of you have joined already. Yeah? I see some of your names already in my course. For those of you who have not joined, please join so that you can have a look. I give you the QR code. Scan.
Sorry, can I have
This one, try this Wi-Fi and see whether you get.
So UOW Malaysia page?
UTG. It works, yeah?
Yeah, it works.
All right. You probably need to create an account.
Just click on so to rank the sign.
Okay, scroll up. And you can take join now. But the app is actually a bit limited section. So it's best that you join in browser. So you can take for example the second. So right, I'll give you 10 minutes, all right, for you to look at the course. Basically for this one, the materials and everything are all there. I just want you to have a look at it, go through it, so that you know the outcome, the result of it, before I share with you the structure, the blueprint of how this thing was created from the beginning. Okay? Join now? Then I think they will ask you to direct you to a page to set your. Oh, okay, you have okay. You have to log in, sign up for an account. You can use Facebook or Microsoft username, or you can just create a
This is so just.
Yeah, the app sometimes there are some buttons, right? It doesn't really work so well.
Okay.
So basically, this is the home page. Yeah. Watch the video and read. This is an introduction video. You can read through what the students are expected to do. It's supposed to be pictures here, right? Just like
Yeah.
followed by some activities. These are some participants who have started.
And the gallery is all
Just all that people put. So what then after that you can follow getting started. You know how to, this is just a guide for learners for first time, you know, to explain to them what are these buttons all for, what is it and all. Then after that, this is the learning activities. These are all the resources and materials until to the last part. Okay, so then when students
and this is a batch. So if I completed all these activities, then I want to get a batch. So this is
get a
where
badge,
I
then it's like get
get
certificate.
certificate. Yes, get certificate. Okay.
Get certificate, then you have to. Questions from over there? You okay? You managed to log into the course?
If I want to log into your course, I have to confirm how the screen send.
Oh,
You can sign by using the Microsoft account.
never mind, then maybe you can share with me just to have a look.
Or you can sign by using Microsoft account.
Yeah, my Microsoft send.
Or you can create a new.
I think that I can And when back home, you join.
You can. You or see like her when you go your site, you are using Microsoft. Oh, it's turning and turning and turning. Never mind. Never mind. Then I'll share with you here. Okay. Since some of you cannot seem to see it, I will share mine here just to run through with you what exactly is this.
Vì giống như lý thuyết của em không có là cái cuốn sách về management nhưng mà không bao giờ thực hiện.
Được là lời cái lần bốc không cái trò của học cái gì cũng vô 2/8 thì vô cái bốc rồi đúng không? Cái nào dạy trước mai vô cái bốc rồi
So those who want to relax, so they can.
Bài thầy một cái bài giảng đó thì nó sẽ là 3 tiếng, nó 2 tiếng 8, 1 tiếng 7. Cái micro credential thì nó chỉ có các bạn chỉ có cái đoạn dạy thôi.
Actually, today is really, really very short. Okay, I'm just going to share with you, just run through with you what exactly is in this course, yeah. So once you have signed in, okay, once you join, you will come to this home page. So this is actually the introduction video. So, welcome to I'm Michelle. So these are the colleagues who created this course together. And here are the instructions for this course. You are interested to develop your English language skills fluently. So then here is an introduction to what this course is about, yeah, and then followed by the course learning outcomes specifically for just this course, yeah. And then I've also created a page here where if the student is first time on this platform and first time joining our courses, so this person may not be so familiar as to where to click and here and there. So there's a guide here. So this guide is also the guide that is here. It's on this left, getting started. So then I do an introduction or warm-up activity, icebreaker with the students. And you can see that there are some who have got some submissions here. There are some students who submitted their work. In this particular course, I also use an additional app called Edpuzzle. So because we use it and we want the students to be already registered in the account, so we actually tell the students beforehand to create an account before they start doing the activities. If not, they will get stuck. So once they have completed this, they can go to learning activities. So in the learning activities is where you will find all the topics and all the information. So we have topic 1, presenting information. So under presenting information, so this is like topic 1 is like chapter 1. You have a storybook, chapter 1. Inside chapter 1, you have page. So this is the first page, introduction, the first page. Gathering materials is the second page. Then pitching your idea, third page. Fourth page, fifth page. Okay. Then after that, you have topic 2. Again, you have 5 pages. And then topic 3, you have only 2 pages. And then the final assessment are all here, which is actually divided into 2 parts. Before we give the students the final assessment, we also give them a review activity. Prepare them. And then lastly is where we provide them a space to reflect on what they have learned. So once the student has completed and would like to get a certificate for this course, they will click on Get Certificate here. So once they click on this, then like you see here, we have, like I told you just now, this course is open, anybody can join and learn. But if they want a certificate, they will have to pay for it. So then here they will tell you, okay, you will have this course by the name will be certified as here. Okay, and then if you want it, then you have to make payment as you click to continue for the payment.
So for the platform, you have to pay it. So I mean, that you have to pay maybe some of money to use the platform,
Yes.
or it's for free. And when someone buy your certificate, so you will have a commission to the
We
platform.
subscribe, the institution
Yeah.
subscribe to this platform.
Okay. So they already paid for the platform.
Yeah, they already paid. Yes, that's right. So this money doesn't go to my pocket, this money goes to the institution. But as an individual, you can also create courses. Example, if I'm a person, one person only. Okay, I'm not working with UW Malaysia. I'm not working with UC, not working. Just me. I want to create courses and I want to sell my courses. You can do. You can inquire from Open Learning. They have packages. You can subscribe. Okay, where you create. They can then give you the access to create courses and to sell your courses.
Yeah.
And then the money goes into your account.
Yeah. So which means that this is serious business, and this is not
Yes.
for fun or just for experience.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a business plan, then that would be good. But honestly, it takes a lot of planning.
Yep.
See. What
And
courses you want to put and how are you going to market it?
Yep.
That's very important. So it's not just like building the courses, because just building the courses itself is a lot of work also.
Yeah.
So as you can see here in the pages, right?
So many videos to make, so many activities. to do.
Yeah, exactly. So in the introduction page here, the introduction page is actually nothing. It's just introducing what this particular topic is about, okay, and what the students are expected to learn in this topic, okay. So then after that, next. So this is when the students will start to do activities. So before they do the activity, there is a video here for the students to learn. So this video is about gathering information. So there will be the instructor there who will talk about how to gather information. Okay, and if you notice, the videos are all very short. We keep our videos very short, my recommendation is 2 to 3 minutes. Of course, sometimes there are some videos to about 5 minutes. Okay, 2 to 3 minutes. The reason is because in through research and all, videos that are more than 3 minutes, right, doesn't go in anymore. Okay, students will not want to watch it. Yeah, so try to keep your videos short. So like I said, talking about videos is next week. Okay, but then videos are still very important. Okay, so you see after the video, then you will have this activity.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
For your videos are very good.
Very
How do
much.
you record them? Because I noticed that it is
Yeah.
stand. So do you have a camera to do it or a special room to do it or something?
Okay, you mean this kind of video, right?
All your videos I see are very good. Yeah, it's like, specially taken, How do
Yeah.
we do that? How do we do that? Most of our video, we just take ourselves, so it's not very refined. This one like very professionally done. How do we do that?
I'm glad to hear that from you. Thank you very much. I must share the picture of how we take our videos with you after if I can find it. Yeah. All these videos are all done by ourselves. There are no special technician involved at all. From the writing of the script right up until what you see here, that means including the editing and everything. Actually, very minimal editing. It's all done by us, ourselves. None of us have any experience on video production and video making. No, zero. We really learn from scratch. How do we do this video? We actually that's the what you call that is the training for next week. We use green screen. You know green screen? Yeah, we have green screen, and our green screen is not the very fancy type that you see people take movie that sort of green screen. Our green screen is just a piece of green cloth to me, okay, just behind us, yeah. And of course, what we have learned through all our trial and errors and failures and lessons or whatever you want to call it, your lighting is very important, yeah. And you see the quality of the videos. You see this one, yeah, the quality is actually not so good. Can you see the quality? Yeah, it's slightly not so good. This one is taken using the this laptop camera. Okay, whereas the other one that you see just now, the earlier one, right? The first one that you see, yeah, that one is taken using my phone here. This one not expensive phone. This one very cheap phone. Okay, and the phone camera is obviously very much better than the laptop. Yeah, because laptop camera is in a way just designed to be used for conferencing. But our phone, especially if you have the better phone, right, the better camera type, then you will notice that the quality of the videos, and even when you take pictures also, you know it already. The lens is different. So I would say best is use your phone to take the video. However, the issue will be then doing the editing. So you will need to learn a software to take that video from your phone, cut out the green color part, and to put in your background, which is what you see in this one, this particular video.
So how long did it take for you to master the whole process of making a video like that? So 3 weeks or 4 weeks or even more?
This particular, if you talk about just this particular course, we created it over 6 months, just this course. But at the same time, when we were creating this course, we were creating another 3 to 4 courses. Same. When I did these courses with them, right, I actually had a few different groups working together with me. So this is actually the work of one group. I still have other courses by group. So we were all working at the same time. So within a span of around 6 months, we have created 3 to 4 courses. So I would say all these videos were created during the period of time. So you see in this particular one, you see the quality is much clearer, cleaner. It's because it's taken using the phone. But the problem with using this technique is it's much better, but the editing part is a bit more tedious. Okay, compared to the other video just now, that one is taken using the laptop. It's much easier, more direct. We don't really have to do much cleaning. Okay, you can use Zoom to actually take the video with the green screen. You know, there's one function, right? Actually, I'm on Zoom now. There's a function here.
And then it will match automatically with the background that we.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, this one. PowerPoint as virtual background. So which means, yeah, do I have a PowerPoint here? I share. But this one I find that is the easiest to do. This is the easiest to do, but the quality is still not as good. Some of my videos earlier days I was using this technique. Yeah, because the problem is when you're using Zoom, that means you're online. So if your connection is not so good, so your picture becomes very blurred.
Yeah.
So unless you have very stable and good connection, then you use this technique, then you will be able to do it well. So you can see me now.
Yes.
Very small because the camera is there very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually see me like, you know, this is like the green screen technique. Yeah. Okay. So this is one method. Another method is using OBS. OBS is well known when you know those what you call influencers, YouTube influencers that started, you know, with doing a lot of all these videos. They use OBS for all those gaming. They do that, yeah, using OBS. I find that OBS is pretty good, and in fact, that was what I used in my first 2 sessions of teaching on how to create videos. Okay, but my training next week will be using another technique, which is called Prezi. Prezi is what I'm doing now. Actually, this one, this thing is Prezi, but I'm not doing the video now. Yeah, so there are many techniques. It really depends on how much work, how much time you have to put, you know, to do the videos. But to me, after all this experience, my recommendation would be the one that I'm doing next week, which is Prezi video. To me, that one is by far the most straightforward, the easiest. Don't have to do any editing at all. Because all the other techniques, you need to do some editing. If you don't want to do, then it will be, you know, a little bit of like you see the quality is a bit compromised. Okay, all right. So coming back to this, let me share back. I hope I answered your question, Nora. Welcome. Okay, coming back to this here. Okay. So this is another page, okay? And you see that here this part is on teaching your idea, this stage, okay? But we also use other apps like this one here. This is another app. This is actually very interesting. Okay, here you see you push the button, it lights up and it reveals all the things. And when you put your cursor here, orange, and you see the information that comes up. Why does it run off? It's also busy. So when you put your cursor near here, the number, okay, right now, see. The explanation will pop up. So the student can actually read. So it's the same thing, you go to the next one, and then you will come up. So they can actually read. So this is another app that works well in this platform. So you can actually turn on and turn off the button. So these are some of the things that you can use to make your content interesting. Remember just now I talked about superstructure? Yeah, okay. Yep, that's right. It's Genially. Genially is another of one of my favorite apps. Okay, then is for checking understanding. So just now there's one that you see, right, where the students can categorize. Okay, so that particular one just now is a built-in feature of this particular LMS. Yeah, but apart from that, I can't be always like using the same thing and then the student will feel bored, right? So I use also other applications like this here, which is embedded inside here that students can use. So this one is asking the students to put the steps in the correct order. So the students will be, doing this, moving the thing up and down. Okay, and actually expand. After that, you can check whether it's correct or not. So all this in green is correct and this is wrong. So the student can actually try again and see. Then check again. Whoops, still wrong. Let's try again. Okay, brilliant. You sure know your stuff. So then after that, after they have checked their understanding, then they can move on to the next activity. So here, it's just like a reminder of what they have learned. Something to help them to remember what they have learned in the video. These were all shared in the video earlier. Okay, so then now they go on to the second part. So another video here, and then after that, there are some questions. This is a built-in quiz feature in the platform that the students can use. Okay, then after that, another activity that the students can use. So you see that it's not just videos after videos after videos, but there are activities that is in between. Those are what I mean by the superstructure that beautifies or make your course interesting. Okay? Right. Any questions so far?
So I have a question. So what app did you use to make the activities of arranging information?
Arranging information, this one. Or this one?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
It's called Learning Apps. I will give you the list afterwards. I will share with you the list of the different apps that we use. Okay. Any questions over there? My colleagues in UG, are you okay? All good? Okay. Right. So let's take a 15 minutes break now. It's 10:45. I'm back on the dot. 10:45. 15 minutes break. We'll come back at 11 o'clock. Okay. Right. Good. I'll see you then. Go and have a nice cup of coffee. There's some noodle outside for you.
Just need some.
You just need some coffee. Okay, there's also coffee there.
Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back. You had some good break. Good coffee. Okay, so I hope you had a something to fill your stomach already, because now it's really your time to do the work. Okay, your task of the day is to create one micro credential from one of your existing courses. Okay, any of your existing courses. So my suggestion is you focus on only one or two of the existing course learning outcomes. So in your course, there are already your course learning outcomes, right? So focus on either one or two of your existing course learning outcomes. Okay? Because remember I said about micro-credential is about your course as a whole, and you cut it up, whether into 2, into 3, into 4, or maybe into 5 if you need to. Okay, so I have here the templates. Let me copy it over for you. 1 minute. I have it printed for you already. Okay, so that's the link there. So if you open up, you will come to this. Inside the folder, there are two documents. The first one is the template that you can use to fill up your plan. Okay. And the other one in PDF, it's the one that is used to build the course that I've run through with you just now, the one that you see in Open Learning. Okay, so this is the example. So if you were to put this blueprint side by side with what you see just now in Open Learning, you will see them matching, all the pages matching. The course description here is what you see in the home page earlier. Okay, then as I've explained earlier, in terms of the course learning outcomes, this particular course actually comes from this course here, oral communication, which is a course that is taught at the diploma and degree level. The diploma and degree level is slightly different, but some of the sections are the same. So for this one, it's matching to one of the CLOs in the oral communication course, which is communicate effectively by contributing meaningfully to a discussion. Now, this particular CLO is in the oral communication course. That's the course that we teach like normal, okay, in our 12-week semester. But then, now for this course, Discussions at Work Made Easy, these are the learning outcomes. There are 3 learning outcomes there. 1, present information in a clear and succinct manner. 2, use functional expressions to navigate a discussion. 3, make a group decision by negotiating different perspectives. So these three CLOs now, these three now, if you think of it, it's sort of like, you know, when you do your teaching plan, your lesson plan, right? These three CLOs here now is more of like your lesson learning outcome. You have your course learning outcome, which is this one, okay? In order to achieve this course learning outcome, you will go to class, you will teach them. First lesson, okay, is present information, how to present information. Then next week, next lesson is on how to use functional expression. Next week, next lesson is about making a good decision. You get what I mean? The idea, yeah? Okay. So, but now we are doing this as one mini course. Okay, all right. Then you can ignore all these hashtag thing here. This hashtag. This hashtag is actually is useful if you are building the course in open learning. Let me show you why we have all those hashtags. Can you see this thing here up here?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, those hashtag is actually this thing here. All right. The reason why we put those hashtag thing is because remember we have the certification. We want to give students certificate and all. And then how do we measure the achievement of their assessments and all? It is using all these hashtags. So if you look at my assessments, yeah. Is anyone there in UG, do you all use the text or not, the hashtag in your current courses? I'm asking them, those who are using it. Okay, so if you look at all these assessments that we have here, we actually will tag them accordingly. Which one is on which page that they do is on presenting information, so that when we do this assessment, when we check, okay, it will all be linked up together, and we can then assess the learners. Okay, we can pull out the information more easily and know that whether the students have achieved the required course learning outcomes or not. That's the reason we put those hashtags there. Okay, so those hashtags are there is because of the planning as we were doing it. We need to be also aware of what page, what information we are putting in, and how does it relate to the course learning outcomes. Okay, so you will see at the bottom here, then all these hashtags will be there. Gathering materials. This one is actually under which course learning outcome. So it's under present info, which is the first course learning outcome. So that's the reason why we got this hashtag, so that it matches. Yeah, and it goes accordingly afterwards when we do the assessments. So you also need to think about the assessment components. So when we talk about assessment components, just now I mentioned, how do we know whether the learners have already achieved, right? So we need to make sure that the assessments actually link back to the course learning outcome. So you can see here, CLO1, okay, which is the present information, is in assessment 1, 30%. Then CLO2, it's assessment 2, 15%. And then assessment 3, part A is 40% for CLO2, which means to say CLO2 is 55%. Okay. And then CLO3 is another 15%. The last one. Okay, all right. So that's how we match and make sure that what we intend to teach, what we expect the outcomes to be, will be also mentioned accordingly. And that our activities that follows will be accordingly. Okay, so duration here is how long do you think an average student will need to cover all the materials in your micro-credential. So this does not mean just watching the video 5 minutes, do the matching 5 minutes, answer one question 2 minutes. It's not only that, yeah, that is calculated also, but also the time for, because like for there are some activities, yeah, where the students need to think about what to say. They need to plan, you know, how to say it effectively and so on, right? So the time the student take to think about how to say, what to say, is also the time considered for this duration. So on average, a normal student, okay, will take about 40 hours. That's what we think. Okay, and usually for us here, 40 hours is considered 1 credit. Okay, for us, 40 hours is 1 credit. So I think it's similar, almost similar if you say 15 hours. Okay, but you said
15 period.
periods. So, yeah, so it's like
It's like 15.
minutes.
So
minutes or
which
100.
mean
It's about how many minutes?
15.
3 times 15.
So which means
So it's
12
90
12.5 hours per credit.
12.5 hours per credit.
Yeah.
But do you include the preparation time of the student?
And
This
so
is
we
just
divide it to different working time of student, study time of student. So this is the in class working hours, but besides the in class working hours, so they have to have an amount of self study, self study hours. So it's would be about 40 hours. Yeah,
Double.
just
So,
double. So it's about
12, 24,
yeah, so 25 hours.
25 hours. Ours is 40.
Yeah.
What about time for preparation for exam and also exam? Do you calculate?
No, we don't calculate it in the
Last time we don't calculate as well. Last time we only calculate in-class time and also self-study time.
Yeah.
But now we also calculate assessment time and assessment preparation time.
Yeah.
So that is how we come up to that 40 hours per credit. Okay, so that will be equivalent to 1 credit. So let's say as a student, I take this micro-credential and I pass everything, I meet the requirements, and then the student will get 1 credit. Okay, so then let's say if the student take another 2 more micro-credentials, and these 2 more micro-credentials are also under this particular course, oral communication. Okay, then the student will get 3 credits. And that will be equivalent to the credit transfer for this course. If the student decide to do a diploma or degree here in UOW Malaysia, then the student do not need to sit in this class anymore because he already fulfilled. So that's how it works, yeah. Okay, all right. So the next thing after you have decided on this, okay, will be then looking at in detail what is it that you want to be in every single page, or rather what is it that you want in your content. Like I mentioned just now, your videos must be there. Okay, your videos must be there. So this is the blueprint that we have used. But what you see here, this is the complete thing, yeah. But what you see here is the final blueprint. Okay, as we were building the course, we also made changes here and there as we were doing it. Okay, but before we start, we already have all these things here. What is the course description? We started by thinking actually about the course learning outcome. Like I mentioned to you earlier, start by thinking about the course learning outcome, and then think about the assessment component, and then think about the duration. Only after that, we come up with the course title and the course description. Okay, so think about the course learning outcome, assessment, and then the duration first. Then only the title and the description. Okay, that should come last. How to create title is also another topic of discussion, because creating a title, you need to also come up with something that is interesting enough for people to want to take the course. Okay, so we had many suggested titles before we finalized on one also. Okay, so after doing all those things, then you will decide on your topic. And my recommendation, or rather the easiest way of doing it, I would say, is for each of your course learning outcome, have one topic. Okay, so the one topic will be anchored to just, targeting to help students for that particular learning outcome. I find that this is the easiest, but of course, this is not a hard and fast rule. They can be sometimes certain subjects, it depends. You need to do 2 topics, then only you can manage to achieve that one learning outcome. It's also possible. Okay, but for this particular course, you see, every topic is actually anchored by one course learning outcome. So you see, topic 2 is navigating a discussion using functional expressions. So the second one is actually focusing on the course learning outcome 2, which is on functional expressions, which is actually the focus of the entire course. In this course, in particularly, is more of a language course rather than a business communication course. Yeah. Okay. Then topic 3 is on making a good decision by negotiating differing perspectives, and this is actually the third course learning outcome. Okay, and then you will have the final assessments here. What do you decide to put in the final assessment? So now for each of the topic, what should be inside? The first thing that you need to put in your topic will be your introduction. Of course, you will have the introduction for the entire course, okay? But for each topic, you should also have an introduction. It's just like when we begin the class, we will tell the students what are we going to learn today. Okay, so this is where you also specifically put down what students are expected to accomplish by the end of this topic, by the end of this particular lesson. Okay, all right. Then in this blueprint, you will also see we have these columns here. What are the tools or the video that we want to use? The third column. Okay, and if it's a video that is used, what kind of video is it? Mainly in this particular course, is a talking head. That means there is somebody talking, and then the slides. Okay, and then whenever there is a video, you will see that there is a video length that we put there. How long is the video? Okay, the reason why we put the video length there is also to check, make sure that our videos are all, within the 2 to 3 minute frame and not too long. And you will see that if there are videos that are pretty long, we will actually put it into Edpuzzle. There is one. If you look at page 3, page 3,
36.
yeah, highlighting and emphasizing key ideas. It's actually a very long video, 6 minutes and 36 seconds. So for a long video like that, we will then put it into Edpuzzle. Are you familiar with Edpuzzle?
Yes.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay. I cannot. What about my colleagues in UG? Have you all used Edpuzzle before? Yes, no? No, no, okay, never mind, you can explore afterwards, yeah? So, good thing about Edpuzzle is you can, it's actually free, but then now I think they kept it already, the free, is only to limited number of, videos that you can read. But it's actually not that expensive. Did you subscribe or you're using the free one?
At that time, we say that let's see the number of the people. It's 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. 2 or 3. If I'm not wrong, I think it's not that expensive to subscribe. Okay. Because I got my educator's account, which has got more videos. Anyway, it's actually a very good app for you to use if your videos are slightly longer. Why? Because you can actually insert questions in between so that you pause and check your students' understanding before moving on to the next part. Like I mentioned just now, long videos, right, will tend to lose engagement after 3 minutes and students won't really watch it. If they watch also, you know what's going on already. Okay, so if you were to wait until they finish watching 6 minutes over, then only you give them an activity, they don't know what happened. Gone with the wind already. Cannot remember. Okay, so that is why if it's a long video, I would recommend either you cut it up, okay, or if not, put it into Edpuzzle so that you can insert questions in between to check your students' understanding. Okay, how does this Edpuzzle thing look like? Yeah. All right, so you see this particular video here, you click get started. Okay, so you see here, all these green dots here, these are the questions that the lecturer has put in. So the student will have to watch the video, okay, and you will notice that if you're playing it over on your side there.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't see your screen because the one that's showing at our screen is still the building online course template.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to share.
All right, thank you very much.
This is on the other side. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me. You see that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So because I did this activity already last time. Okay, so if the video will stop at the part where there is a green dot, and then the question will come out like this, and you can answer it, and then after that continue. Okay, and if you don't know how to answer, you can click rewatch and you start again. Okay, so let's say you got the answer correct, and then you continue watching. Now, if the student wants to just fast forward and watch everything, you actually cannot do that, because as the instructor, when you create the video, you can actually click a button there that says that you don't allow students to skip the video if they don't answer the question. Okay, but this one, because I've done it before already, so it will just go on because I answered all the questions already. Yeah, but for students who are watching it the first time, it will stop here if they don't answer, and they cannot fast forward at all. Okay, so this is how a puzzle looks like, yeah. Okay, going back to this now, this one here. Okay, so again, there the other apps that I use here, see learningapps.org. We also specify here, so whatever things that we do inside the course, what we plan, all the activities, and what apps and how we do it is all written in the blueprint. Okay, so it's very clear. This is especially important when you are working in a team, because we are all doing different things, and we don't want the course to have too many similar activities. And we don't want the course to have too many different activities also, or rather too many that become too cluttered. So this is how we actually manage it. Yeah, so whoever who does what, it will be, the person will have to update. And we also meet frequently, as almost every 2 weeks, we will meet to talk about the course. So we will, for example, okay, this week we are going to look at this one, this topic on presenting information. Okay, so let's discuss first what are we going to put inside this presenting information. So we think about, okay, the subtopic gathering materials, pitching your idea, highlighting and emphasizing. So we discuss that. Then after that, at the end of the discussion, we will say, okay, so who is going to do gathering materials? So you look at the second last column there, the initial there, that is the person who is in charge of building that material. Okay, so you have like gathering materials is SY is Shinyi. Then pitching your ideas here, you have WL is Lively, okay, and MC is my name. So SR is Rina. So you have all these names there identified, and these are the people who will be building the content. And then we will meet after 2 weeks, and we will share with each other what we have built. So everyone will then check. I check yours, you check hers, she check mine, you know, that kind of thing. Because this course is going to be public. Yeah. So you want to make sure that your content are accurate, okay, and also easy for other people to understand. Yeah, so that is why it involves a lot of like checking here and there to make sure that it works also. So that's why then you will see in the last column, which is what is the status. So this is actually completed already. Like I said, this is draft, I don't know what already. You will see here it's all done. So in the process, there's the part we will put remarks. Yeah. If there are errors, then we will say errors on which one button cannot click, questions are not suitable, whoever who works and check and all. Yeah. So they will put it the remarks there. And then we meet again and then we discuss. Okay, so that's how the blueprint is supposed to work. Okay. Yeah, in a sense, it kind of like worked as a punch list also, but it was like as work in progress. Okay, the punch list will be more of like when everything is completed. Yeah, then actually I was the one who do the final checklist. So the punch list will come from me. Okay, so honestly, when we started doing this, yeah, we didn't start from homepage, yeah. What you see as the final product is the homepage first, but we didn't start from homepage. We started from topic 1, okay? And when we started from topic 1 also, we started from gathering material. There was no introduction. So all this introduction, all these things, yeah, is done only later. So like I said just now, you put your superstructure first, your substructure first, your foundation first. And our foundation was making the videos. And along with making the videos, of course, we were thinking about what activities we want to put. Because you will, as you are building that house, you're putting in your substructure, right? You will already start to think, what color should I paint this wall here when it comes up? You know, that sort of thing, yeah? What shape of my sofa, you know, that I want to put in this corner? You know, that sort of, you will start thinking about it, but you won't actually put the sofa in it yet because it's not ready yet. Yeah, but we already have all those things in mind. So, like I said, what you see here now is actually the complete blueprint already. But when we were in the process of doing it, there wasn't like so many details, you know, or this was like in between, we add. But when we started, we did have the course learning outcomes, the assessment components, the duration, that one we already have it there. These are very, very important to begin as the blueprint. And then your topic which is aligned to your course learning outcomes. Those are the things that you must have before you start. Okay? So far, my colleagues over there, are you okay? Here I can see faces. I know whether they are asleep or not asleep or following me. If asleep, then I will give them more coffee. Do you all have any questions?
We are listening. We are listening. Don't worry. We are listening. Okay.
I didn't bore you all, yeah.
We are learning from you. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Any questions? Questions?
Sorry. So generally, so this is an app or?
App is an app.
Okay.
It is the app that is now the one that I you know, the one, the button that I push on off on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So if you have no. The learning apps is the name of the app. That's the one just now you asked me one, the random.
So these are different tools that you have used.
Yes. That third column is either the video or the tools, the apps that you have used.
And I have a question for the assessment part. So how do you do the assessment marking? So is it in person or it is is it virtually?
Yeah, virtually. So if you go back to the course, right? Yeah. Let me click first. Okay, so you see that at the end of every topic, there is an assessment, right? So assessment 1 is 30%, which if you look at the first page just now in my blueprint, okay? So we tell the students here already, yeah, that this is an assessment for the course. So the question is there. So this is the instruction now. Actually, we when we started doing this course, honestly, yeah, we didn't really have any idea how we would do the assessment. And when I started this project with my team, I actually gave them the liberty to think about what they want to do. I just tell them that we need to create an online course, a micro-credential specifically. What do you want to create? You tell me what you want to create, and I will help with the project. So I gave them a few ideas because they didn't know where to begin. So I gave them some ideas here and there, and I said, well, you can start creating from a course that you already have, or you can start creating from something that you don't have and you just want to do it, which we did. One of our courses is English for nursing, okay, and actually we built from, it's not really a course that we really teach. We do have some nursing students taking the course, but it's not a course that is in the diploma or degree. It's just a side course that they take, yeah. So that particular one was built like from nothing. So that I asked my team, I said, what do you want? You want to build from something that you already have, you have been teaching, or you want to build from something that's nothing, and you just want to do it out of passion? Then they talk about it, they say, oh, what we have been teaching is rather hard, because what we have been teaching, we have been doing it physically. And how are we going to do it online now? So I said, well, that's the challenge, yeah? And especially when it's something like that, because you have been doing the course all the time in a physical mode. So you would be thinking that all the way you were doing your assessment is all physical. So actually throwing them out of that thinking of physical and making them think about virtually, that was the challenge. So then I recommended to them doing something that they're very familiar with, which is oral communication course. This oral communication course, we have been teaching it for years already. And I said, you have been teaching it for so many years, you must be very, very clear of the content and know the best way to deliver it, right? So if that is the plus point of doing a course that you are really familiar with. But the problem is then how to evaluate an oral communication course online. So anyway, at that time, they say, okay, we will do it even though we don't know how to do it. So we honestly started building that without really knowing how are we going to assess it. We know that we need to do the assessment, that is what assessment, but how we're going to do the assessment, we only thought about it much later. And the idea actually came when I think I was taking a bath. So I will share with you what was it after that. Okay, so for this one, yeah, assessment 1 is actually getting them to record their presentation as a video file, because this is for the CLO 1. This is rather easy. It's just getting them to present information, right? So they can just do self-recording. So the rubric is here, shared with them already. Yeah. Okay. And all they need to do is follow the instruction here, record it. Okay. We tell them you must make sure we can see your face, so you have to zoom in. Yeah. And then share your file here. Okay, so basically the teacher will just evaluate using this rubric here.
And then you have to open the file. You have to watch it, listen to them, and then you will mark it. So this is really is not done by a machine.
No. No machine involved.
So if it is public, so you will have students from maybe all over the world. Yeah. And they can do assessment. So in any time of help, we will know that you have an assignment to you have an assessment to be evaluated. so that you can
Ah.
open the platform, open
Okay.
the course to.
So
to
there is a
write it.
facilitator who will be tied to this course, and this person must always go in to check.
Okay, so there will be
Yeah.
someone to,
Monitor.
it's just like a monitor.
Yeah.
And I have to monitor the platform all the time.
Yes,
And
yes,
to,
yes.
okay.
Not only to monitor for submission of
Mhm.
assessment, but to also go and do the feedback
Yeah.
for whatever things that, you know, the
Mhm.
students are, you know, we have a lot of activities there and all. So students will be providing their
Mhm.
answers and whatever. So the facilitator will also have to constantly give feedback.
Yeah.
So it's not just like having the course and just leave it there. There must be a person, just like a teacher,
Yeah.
who's constantly checking.
Mhm.
So there are some micro-credentials, where they have a certain time. They open and close at a certain time,
Okay.
so that they can, you know, check everything. But there are some micro-credentials that are just open, and so there will be this person who is constantly, you know, checking all the time. We do have the notification setting as well.
Mhm.
You see this thing here, this bell?
Yeah.
This is a notification setting, so you can click on it and then you will see whatever the students submit and all. You see all this?
Mhm.
These are all my students who posted
Yeah.
things and all, so I will know that, oh, I need to go and check.
Mhm.
That's how we do it. So this part of the assessment is pretty easy.
And I think that it also depends on whether you choose your assessment. You can also make multiple choice test, for example, like this, and the machine or there's an app can help you to mark.
Yes,
But
yes,
that's why you have to check.
yeah, correct, yes. So actually in this platform, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. But the issue with this particular course is because it's an oral
Yeah, oral,
communication
yeah, right.
course, and
For
that
example.
was the difficult part. Yeah, so I asked my team when they decided, I said, are you sure? They said yes. I said, okay, if you think you're sure, then by all means, let's go ahead and do it together and think about how we're going to manage it. And that time when we started building this course, it was just before the pandemic. So this course, whatever that you see here, was built throughout the pandemic time, where every one of us was working remotely at home. So all those videos that you watch was taken at home. That was a whole a lot of stories to share, you know, the ups and downs, the tears, the whatever thing that we had gone through.
So how long was the quarantine here in Penang? 6 months?
It was off and on, completely shut off for 3 to 4 months that is completely shut off. Then after that we started coming back to work, but only selected.
Mhm.
Only very few staff come in.
Yeah.
And come in only for like 1 day or 2 days or just a few hours.
So up to now, everything is not maybe back to normal.
Only this semester, everyone is back on campus.
Yeah.
Fully. Before that, it was still partially here and then.
Right.
Okay, so the most challenging one, like you said just now, the automated marking is this
Yeah.
one. I think assessment, if I'm not wrong, is assessment 2. That is, yeah. This is the one that is just 15 questions. This is the MCQ one. This is just testing whether they know how to use, how to use these phrases. So this can be marked automatically inside here, and you will know the score. But the most challenging one is actually assessment 3, the last one, the final assessment. Because if you look at the CLO, right, the CLO for that is actually, them working in a group, making group decision and all. So if you look at this, right, assessment 3 is divided into 2 parts. Okay, the first part is where they will need to, basically this course is about them. If it's in the real physical sense, they will be working in groups like this, yeah, and then they will be discussing on a topic or an issue, and then that's where we will be evaluate how they respond. But in a physical space, in a virtual space now, and they are taking the course at their own pace. So how do we get them to be in a team? It's very difficult. Yeah. And how do we assess them whether they know how to respond or not, and how to respond to in a discussion? So that was the most challenging part. So we were thinking for a long time how to evaluate this, but in the end, I came up with this idea where it's actually a mock discussion. So we videoed this this video that you see here. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's for coming to this meeting. I believe you're all aware of today's agenda. First item is on using office Excel. I just had a chat with my manager last week. So if you see this video, it looks like we are in a conference, right? It's like Zoom like that, everybody is having a thing together. But all these videos, like I told you, it was taken at home, all different. She take one, take one. We were not in Zoom talking like that.
Yeah.
This was actually done in post editing, where we changed the background and we put it all together. So for this particular one, it's a lot of editing that was done to make it look like as though these 4 persons are actually talking.
It means that we can edit the video.
The student, when they submit their answer, yeah, to a certain extent, they will be able to. But another method that we thought of that to control that is to lock the pages. But then this was supposed to be sort of like a teaser course, a preview course to our other multi-credential courses. So that is why this is left open like that. But then again, the students can plan their answers and of course practice and then upload their video response to whatever discussion topic or the question that they're supposed to answer. But we did talk about this and argue whether is this a fair evaluation. But then we thought, when we look back at the CLOs, it is about them knowing how to use the phrases and all, and knowing how to respond if in a discussion somebody will ask this question or somebody will say this. So at the end of the day, it is still able to achieve that course learning outcome. And that is why we think that it is okay to leave it like this. And furthermore, this is actually only one credit there. They have not fulfilled the entire thing yet. So that there are still other evaluations that they need to complete. Okay, so this one, the mock discussion is divided into, it's actually one whole discussion. There are 4 parts that the student will need to respond. Okay, because there will be parts that the student will need to disagree. There will be parts that the student need to agree, and how do you say agree? And there will be a part where the students need to give his or her own opinion. Okay, so the answer is still very open-ended. Right? So this was the most, I would say the most challenging part and most time-consuming part, to come up with the how to say the dialogue, as in who is going to say what, and having to record it and make sure that it syncs together. Okay, any other questions?
Yes. From Inspire.
Any questions over there? Okay, so if you have no questions, then I'm going to give you some time to think about your own course using the the template that I've given you just now. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to build the whole thing today or fill out the whole thing today. Like I shared with you, what you see there is actually what we did like over a period of time. So I'd like you to just take some time to look at your existing course. If there's any part of it that you think that can be turned into a micro credential, please start with the course learning outcome for your micro credential. Okay, the course learning outcome, and then how are you going to assess this particular outcome or outcomes that you have put here, the assessment components, and then the duration. How long do you think this will take you? Okay, then perhaps the next thing is to think about how many topics do you want to have. Okay, like I said just now, if you have 3 course learning outcomes, my recommendation is to have 3 or maybe 4 topics. Okay, and what would be the topic? All right, and if you have even more time, then you can go into thinking about what are the subtopics for each topic here. What could you put inside? All right, so I'll give you about 15 minutes to think about it. Okay.
Can we do in group of maybe 2 or 3?
You can, yeah.
So
Or
maybe
5, 3 or 5.
You can, no problem.
You can.
Okay.
I think that we can move to
How are you over there? You managed to come up with your course? Okay, so now it's time for sharing what you have thought about or talked about just now. So who wants to start first?
Not us, not us.
Okay, they say not us, not us. Anyone over there wants to start first? If not, I have to start calling names. iPhone, who is iPhone?
Who's that?
calling iPhone. Anyone? Alicia, want to share?
Hello. I didn't really like manage to complete everything, but anyway, I will just share with you. All right. Can you see my screen? So I was thinking about this effective decision-making course that I'm giving right now. So I have identified like 3 course learning outcomes. So the first will be to define the challenge of making decision. The second will be to identify the secret psychological factors that affect decision-making. And the third part will be applying the strategies of decision-making. So the assessment part, I roughly follow your template because I'm not too sure like how it should be, but based on this, I will plan the assessment as per over the template over here. And then the duration also, I'm not too sure like how you can come up with like 40 hours or less than that. So what factors that
Okay, so for us, right, it was like I mentioned, the course, this particular course, discussions at work made easy, right, was cut up from the oral communication, which is an existing course that we have for the diploma and degree, which is running at 3 credits, 120 hours. So we cut the course into 3 parts, and that's how we got the 40 hours.
Okay, so if let's say I do not have like this subject for me to have it as a reference, so how can I determine the number of hours?
Okay, firstly, you will need to think about, but you said you're currently running this course, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so currently when you are running this course in order to teach for that 3 CLOs that you have, how much time do you spend usually on teaching the students? And then 5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say 5 hours that you spend teaching. Then you have to think about your student self-study time. Usually, I won't say 100%, yeah, but usually self-study time is ×2 of your contact hours.
Ah, okay.
But it's not always like that because there are some courses, right, where it requires the student maybe to do like currently I'm teaching one of this course, the professional development course, professional leadership skills. This particular course, my contact hours with the student is only 7 times 3, 21. And the remaining of the 120 minus the 21, yeah, the remaining is actually all the student self-study time, because there are projects that the students need to do, because it's a professional development course. So there are projects that the students need to do, and they need to spend more time in terms of self-study time. So it depends on, now you say face-to-face, you have 5 hours. Then let's say student self-study time is another 5 hours. Okay. Or maybe you put it up to 10 hours, another 10 hours. So you have 15 hours already. Then the next thing you need to think about is the assessment. What assessment are you giving the student? If let's say your assessment is about getting your student to answer MCQ question, then that will require much preparation. Okay, but if your assessment is requiring the students to come up with a portfolio, then your students might need to be given more time. Then you need to factor how much time. 10 hours enough to build the portfolio. Then maybe you add to that. So then you have 25 hours.
Okay. Is there any maximum on the duration?
No maximum duration.
Okay.
There is no maximum, no minimum, but like I said, micro-credential is meant to be bite-sized. There are micro-credential as short as 1 hour only. So there is no hard and fast rule. However, if you want to make your course as a course that will be somewhat used in the future for credit transfer, if that is the plan, it must be 40 hours, 1 micro-credential, because you need to have 1 credit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is also one of the reasons why this course is made to 40 hours, because it's 1 credit. Because this course is meant to later, students can get credit transfer. So I have another course, which is the nursing one. It's only, I think, I can't remember, is it 10 hours or 20 hours only? Because that one, no credit transfer, nothing. It's just another course for anybody to take.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Very much. I hope to see it become a real outcome in the end, yeah. It's very interesting. I think this is a very useful course.
Okay. Okay.
So do
And so this part, I have not done anything yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Actually, that part, the introduction to course, is it will be the last thing for you to do. In fact, for my course, the discussions at work, right? This was the last thing I did. Everything is there already. This is the last thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So I only managed to do topic 1, which is on the challenges of making decisions. So the first part, of course, I will have the introduction, and as per your recommendation, like with the talking head and slides, with the greetings and also the lesson learning outcomes. So the second part will be, first of all, they need to identify what kind of decision maker they are. So I will also use this technique where I will first introduce like what is the different type of decision making, and they should know that there's like 5 different kinds. And after this, they should identify what is their decision making style. And after that, they will have like some exercise to do, which is some online survey that they need to take or participate. And after that, based on these 2 different online survey, they can identify what kind of decision maker they are. And I will request them to post their thoughts at the open learning. And after that, yeah, I think I stopped there.
Okay, right. Good try. Keep thinking.
Okay.
So it would be great to actually get somebody else, to be involved in your project as well. I'm not saying that you cannot do it alone, yeah. But through my experience, I feel that when there's somebody together with you doing the course, you can brainstorm, you can see things in a different manner, be able to work better. Because sometimes, especially when it comes to building a course, yeah, we see it like this. Yeah, we see it like this only. the student, right, taking it, right, they see it differently, you know. So that's why it's rather important that it's kind of like a team of people working together, so that there are a few people actually looking at things and seeing it from different perspectives, so that you can kind of like manage whatever possible misunderstanding or possible pitfalls that you might have, you know, in doing in launching the course.
Okay.
If you work on solo, it's still possible, but then we will talk about that part later on, which is on testing part. The testing part is really important because you need to make sure that it is well tested, you know, in terms of the functionality, the usability, you know, that kind of thing, before you actually launch it to your learners.
Okay. All right. So I will have you as in my team lah.
No problem. I'll be happy to.
All right. Thank you very much, Michelle, for your advice.
Okay. Right. Next person. Ready here?
Not really, because we really just need 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
Oh,
Oh.
have my turn because mine is very. Take a picture and show the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to write everything.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, iPhone. All right. I will say legally. Stuff like. Right, anyone else want to share over there? Jasmine, Raiden, Fatima. Raiden says his mic is not working. So Jasmine, Fatima, Risham. Risham, you have a course to share, Risham? Risham, you are from our IMC, right? Are you the Risham? Oh, am I mistaking you for somebody else? Anyone? Jasmine, Fatiha? Very shy to share. I'm just waiting for you. Waiting for you to share. Oh, and then you can actually do it then.
I think everything there if you take the photo and then you share the photo.
Oh, you can do it there, and I can scan. I can do it for you like that. Yeah.
You can do
I can. Huh? Oh, I thought you
No. Put it here. Can
just share directly. Yeah. So I can. Okay. There's one person who will be in Zoom meeting. Oh, you got your title there. Everything. Okay, let's go to this part first. Okay.
Okay, hello everybody, can you see it clearly? This is we intend to use the course of writing, actually essay writing, and we will choose the title from comparison and contrast essay. We have come up with 3 course learning outcomes. The first one is for students to be able to understand the definitions. We mean like comparison essay, contrast essay, comparison and contrast essays. They must understand all the definitions when they do the questions so that they can use the correct techniques to write. And then for the second learning outcomes, it should be for the students to use the appropriate techniques, the block or point-by-point techniques to write a comparison and contrast essay. And for the last one, this is the time for them to be able to produce the essays, to write the essays. Of course, there are 3 different types, so there should be a lot of work for them to do for the last outcome. And for assessment components, we have 5. We have 5 assessments. The first one is related to the first learning outcome, 20%. The second one is related to the second outcome, 20%. This is actually what we have been doing in our school when we have to be divided into 2 different parts. The final assessment should be 60%, and the in-class activities should be 40%. So altogether, we have 100%. And for the final assessment, here we have 3 different assessments. Each one is 20% when we have to fulfill 3 different types of essays. I mean, like the comparison essays, the contrast essays, and the third one should be comparison and contrast essay. Talking about duration, in our school, we have 1 period. It is equivalent to 50 minutes. So we have 15 periods because for the course of writing 3 essay writings, we have 3 different types of essays: comparison, contrast, opinion essays, cause and effects essays. So this is 1/3. So you need to have 15 periods in class and in class. So here for the online class, and they need to spend 15 periods to attend. Like they have to watch our videos and to read the instructions, try to fix it up for 15 periods. And then 30 periods sounds on. Maybe they cannot out is think about what they have learned, or they have to work on different materials, things like that. And then 5 years for preparation for the test, and then 5 years for assessment. Altogether, 55 periods, and it is equivalent to 45 hours. That's the way we calculate 4 hours. So 45 hours, okay? When we come up with the first topic, we don't need to show anything. It's just a explanation. Thank you. So for the first topic, it is about the definitions of these types of the essays. So teachers will have some kind of greetings, and then for the video, explain to them what it means by comparison essays, complex essays, and what it means by comparison and non-complex. You have to focus, like which types you have to focus on similarities, which types focus on differences, and which types you have to use both comparison and complex and similarities and differences. So, and then we can design the activities like for them to just read the questions, and they have to decide whether it belongs to the comparison essays or complex essays. So put these types of multiple choice activities for them to make sure that the same question before they can decide on that. After we move to the second topic, it should be about the techniques. So the video should be about what it is by block writing and what it is by points by points. And again, we will show them some kinds of activities, like they have to design an outline for that. Like for this question, compare online learning versus offline learning, things like that. And they have to decide if they want to write a blog ways, how should they organize the idea? And if they want to write in a point by point, how should they organize the idea? So we can have a look and we check whether they go to the correct direction or not. And then for the third topic, after they are sure of each different ways, then we can employ the techniques, and then we do questions for them. And of course, they have to produce outline first, and then we have to write on the whole essays for comparison essays, complex essays, or both. That's it, and how it works. And we have to check, and we have to mark for their assessment. That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think very thoroughly thought. Yeah, well done. Okay, so I hope one day it will become a real online course. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for sharing. So let's come back to this here. So we have actually come to this part on, I mean, in between we talk about designing learning activities as well. And over the period of us doing these micro-credential courses, yeah, of that field, what we have found to be most useful and works very well in open learning are these apps here, which can be easily embedded into open learning, where you can see just now, you know, it appears as it is. Not that when you click on it and then it has to pop up. There are some apps where you cannot embed, it doesn't appear inside, okay? It's not that you cannot use, but my recommendation is try not to direct the students out of the platform that you're using. The reason is, when you direct students out of the platform, they will go somewhere else. Especially if you are using YouTube videos. If you get your students to, if you don't put the YouTube videos into your platform, you give the student the link and they go to YouTube. After watching that video, what they will do?
We will watch the next video.
The next video, and then other video, and then they will be somewhere else already. They don't come back and do anything. So that's why it's good to use other apps, because like I said, it creates some kind of fun, some kind of colors, some kind of excitement in the course. But I do not recommend using way too many also. That is why you only limit to this 4. These are the only 4. In fact, we in some of the courses we only use 2 or maybe maximum 3, but not more than any 4. Okay, because too many also will become too confusing for the students. Too many things. Okay, but definitely not something that will direct the students out of that platform. That one we don't do at all. And that is also one of the reasons why at the very beginning, remember I said the homepage after the ice-breaking activity and all, then I asked the students to sign up for the Edpuzzle account immediately. Because if not, then when they come to the Edpuzzle activity, if they did not sign in earlier, it will direct them, like you see just now what I did, it directs me to all these windows keep on popping up. So it becomes a distraction. So it's important to think about all these things when you are designing the course. So that leads me to actually the next thing, which is the punch list. Okay, this is where you are checking on anything that is missed out. So this is usually done after you finish your course, doing everything, okay, complete. Then you will have that blueprint with you, right? So you run through it again, whether everything is there. Now, in addition to that, we also do alpha testing and beta testing. So alpha testing means these are the typical 2 types of testing that we do. Alpha testing means you are testing within the organization, within the team. So like I mentioned to you, within my department, there were 3 teams working on 3 different micro-credentials at the same time. So when we completed each one, right? So we will get the other people in the department to become the learners to test out. Okay? Basically is to make sure that if they are as the learners, they go in, they can follow the course enough. And the buttons and everything can click enough. Does it link properly enough? And then can it flow properly? Okay. Then after doing the alpha testing, which is within the team or within the organization, you will do your beta testing, which is sort of like a pilot testing of your whatever thing. That is the one that you see, which I have put up already to the public. And we get people, tell people about it. We don't really go and promote it loudly to everyone, but we kind of like share with people, ever come and join, and so that we get to see whether how is the student responding to certain things, and they will also feedback to us. Let's say if something is not working. One of the things that we have learned along the way is also be aware that there are certain apps that do not work in certain countries, especially China. Right? So we have to know that, yeah. And if let's say if your client base, that means your potential students that you are trying to reach out are from China, then you have to be aware of that and make sure that you check that these apps can actually work in China. So I had one of my friends in China to help me, to be a tester. I sent it to her and I said, can you please join and help me, look at it and let us see the apps will all open up and all. So she did feedback to me that some like, oh, cannot, or then we know already that there are some that we cannot use. Okay, all right. So constantly, like I mentioned just now, you need to also revise and reflect, because especially if you are talking about courses which will change over time with technology, happening around us. Yeah, so we need to update our content and update our information to make it relevant. If not, then after a while you'll find that nobody wants to take your course already, because it's no longer relevant to the work that they are doing. Okay, so it's important to constantly reflect and find what you are doing. Okay, so that's all about building your online course successfully. I hope that today's session is and probably an eye-opening one for some of you. Probably one that gives you more confidence as well to go through it if you have been building it already. I know how difficult it can be. Like I shared just now, between my team and I, we had fights, we had laughters, we cried, the frustration that we had, when we made the video, and then the video didn't turn out properly, all sorts of things that we have faced. But when the whole thing is successful, that's when you actually taste the fruit of your labor. Okay, so with that, I end my session here. Thank you very much for spending your Friday morning with me. So it's now time for question and answer, if you have any. Any more questions you'd like to ask? I know many people has already left. Thank you, Alicia, for coming. I'm glad to be able to share some things with you. Right, anyone, anything to share, to ask?
So I have joined in some, not so many, but some courses on Coursera. And this is the first time I know how to take it. So this is the first time when I have maybe okay, I know the steps to do the courses. So I'm very thankful for today morning. So for you especially for providing us such precious information.
Thank you so much for attending. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good Friday, everyone, and of course a good weekend ahead. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.